Hello again everyone, boys and girls, ladies and gents. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the New York Yankees. Yes, the New York Yankees came into baseball, actually were formerly known as, I believe, the New York Highlanders in the early 1900s. Then I think like 1913, around that time, they had changed their name to the New York Yankees. And the Yankees have for most of those years have really had a perennial very good team. They've won more World Series than any other team ever in Major League Baseball history. It's unprecedented. They're a team that draws a lot of animosity, unfortunately, from a lot of other players on other teams, fans. There's some jealousy, obviously. There's a lot of people that hate the Yankees because of their success, because they flourished for so many years, and they seem like they're the kind of team when a player goes down, somebody automatically replaces them and plays very well and fills the void for them. The Yankees have had the uncanny ability to do that over the years. It's in Major League Baseball. One of the fabled things that people like to talk about in connection with the New York Yankees is the curse of the Bambino. And when, obviously, most of you know this is pertaining to Babe Ruth, and when he joined the Yankees and he came over from the Red Sox, it seemed like he came in for virtually, Red Sox really didn't get a lot in return. And the Yankees went on to win a number of World Series after that period. I think what happens is, I'm sure most of you don't really believe in a curse. As far as the curse of the Bambino, what happened was, after the Yankees got him, the Yankees wound up to turn out to be a phenomenal baseball team. And over the years, like when Babe Ruth left, they always managed to get other players to supplant the talent that they lost, due to the fact that players would have incentive to join the Yankees because they wanted to be on a winning team. And this curse that people talk about really became self-perpetuated with a lot of with the Yankees' ability to constantly and consistently acquire marquee players when one leaves. Now, after the Joe DiMaggio days, Mickey Mantle came in, filled the void superbly. And the Yankees have not always been a great team. They had a period from around 1965 to 75 where I don't believe they were even in the postseason. So the Yankees really have been one of the better sports franchises, one of the most dominant ones over the years. You have the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry, in which you do have some literal animosity that exists between maybe some of the players and some fans. I think for the most part it is a friendly rivalry. I had talked with somebody one time. He had called a place that I was working at, and he, for some reason, I guess he made a wrong call. He called from the Boston area, evidently, and we were talking about the two teams, and I told him that I was a Yankees fan, and he was being facetious and flippant. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that." So, I mean, a lot of it isn't fun, and it's the competitive nature of the game. And when the Yankees, even when they're hated, they've helped facilitate the economy. They bring a lot of fans out to them. There's a lot of people that want to see the New York Yankees be conquered and go down. So that's another thing that happens in connection with the New York Yankees. I'm sure a lot of fans were happy last season that the Yankees did not make the postseason, and they're hoping to do that this year and actually get in. And when George Steinbrenner, he died around, he was either like 2009, 2010, I had a feeling that the Yankees, they might be on a slight decline, and that they weren't going to be quite the same team without him. And George Steinbrenner, as an owner, people could say whatever they want, that he was maybe tyrannical, or to say he was kind of a domineering overlord, but he got the job done. He managed to help the Yankees propel them, get him back into greatness. He took over in 1973, and the Yankees were somewhat floundering at that time when Steinbrenner took over, but he was a proven winner, someone I would not consider parsimonious. He was somebody that was willing to dole out the big bucks for the team in order to create a champion. And hey, I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with that. People talk about the salary cap issue in baseball, and that's why a lot of people detest the New York Yankees, because they're generally one of the highest, if not in certain years the highest payroll in Major League Baseball. And they spend exorbitant amounts on players. But the fact that there's no salary cap is not the New York Yankees' fault. The New York Yankees play within the parameters that MLB sets out for them. So for people to chastise the Yankees and say, well, this is not right, and condemn them because they spend a lot of money, it's not the Yankees' problem. Do I think that there should be a salary cap implemented? Yes, there should be a salary cap implemented, because it would restore the competitive balance in the game, and I think you'd have a little more parity. But at the same time, you're going to find Major League Baseball teams that don't always have a great payroll and find a way to produce perennial contenders. There was a number of years, until the last few years maybe or so, where the Minnesota Twins were a very good team, and they were constantly either AL Central Division champions, or at least very close to it, and produced winning records for a number of years. And I don't know what their exact position in the salary, as far as their salary was in those years, but I don't think it was anywhere near where the Yankees were. Now you have other teams, or in contrast, where they spend exorbitant amounts of money, like the New York Mets, and they just don't seem to always produce a winning team. I think fortitude, some luck, providence can play a role in this. That sometimes the Mets will wind up getting one of their marquee players injured, and that kind of messes the season up for them. The Yankees just seem to have they've been having great teams consistently through the years, but luck does play a little bit of a role, and it seems to be a little bit on the Yankees side to some degree, in contrast to some of the other teams. Another thing too is that what people got to look at, there's a number of players that the Yankees get that are from their farm system, which enabled them toward greatness throughout the years. You look at Derek Jeter, was from the farm system. They have players in the past that have catapulted them to great heights in Major League Baseball from their farm system, and not everybody came in as a free agent. The Yankees are looked upon by a lot of people as the team that all the money can buy, or what have you, but it's not always about that. It takes the players to actually execute and perform on the baseball field as well. So you could get all your players, and having a plethora of talent doesn't always equate to having a winning team. I can remember, like, when the New York Mets had a number of players it was a team in the early 90s when they had Bobby Bonilla, and it looked like they had almost a star-studded lineup, and I think they finished with 70-something wins that season. They were somewhere around 70, 74 and 88, or somewhere near that. And sometimes people can get all of these great players, but they can't play cohesively, or somehow it doesn't always equate to a winning team. And the Yankees have the uncanny ability to get players on that team to play well for them. So, and as far as New York Yankees go, love them or hate them, they're actually, I do believe they're good. There's more good involved having the Yankees around as opposed to not having them. And so, love them or hate them, they're not going. I don't see them going anywhere anytime in the near future. So we all, people, whether you're enamored with them or not, you deal with them. Well, people, that will conclude this YouTube segment. my take on the New York Yankees. And until next time, people, stay well.